Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Simply Elevate Magazine's Conversations with Peace. Tonight, I have two very special guests. I have the producer and writer, Ken Watts of Outbreak Zero, and Thomas Scott, the writer, producer, and director of Outbreak Zero, a new TV series that will be premiering as early as 2015. Please, everybody, let's give a warm welcome for Thomas and Ken. Are you all there?
Yes, we are.
We are here.
Awesome. How are you both doing tonight?
Been quite busy.
I can believe you. I believe you.
Very good. It's been hectic, but it's been wonderful.
I know. I love it. I love it. Labor of love is what I call it. Well, I'm really excited about this project that you're doing because right now we are in the midst of where TV has grown to be so phenomenal. It's actually growing more as we speak, and we've seen a lot of new series and a lot of new shows that are taking place. Can you tell us a little bit about Outbreak Zero, please?
Outbreak Zero is a satirical dark comedy. It is set in a world where an outbreak, as the title would indicate, has just taken place, wiping out around 80% of the total population of the country. And basically, our story is really about the society that's left over after the outbreak. How they put the pieces back together, how they keep the pieces from falling apart, hopefully, and how they repair themselves and maintain or rebuild some kind of functional society. Now, black people are the majority. The temporary resources are plenty, but the long-term resources pose a huge problem. The currency has collapsed. The economic system, the government that we're used to now has collapsed. So our society of people have to put the pieces together and hold everything together that they want and rebuild pieces of society that they may not have wanted so much.
Super interesting. Now, let me ask you this because, this is a very, very, very interesting topic and conversation. Can you or Ken, Thomas or Ken, you can share this with me. How did such a concept come to place? Who birthed this idea?
The concept was created by a gentleman named Michael DeLoach. And the way that it came about is 2 years back we were filming another project. It was an independent project, a short film. And on the first shooting day, after the first shooting day had wrapped up, there were four of us that sat together brainstorming ideas of projects that we could pursue after we had wrapped up the film in question. And Michael DeLoach had an idea. It's an idea that he had been entertaining for some time of a post-apocalyptic world where blacks were the survivors, the sole survivors in this world. And the other three of us had become so intrigued by the concept that we kind of jumped on it. And that's what got the ball rolling. So the title we came up with was Outbreak Zero. Or Outbreak. It was Outbreak, and then it evolved into Outbreak Zero for legal reasons, of course, because there are other outbreaks out there, as we know. And the conversation shifted to who would be the characters that exist inside this world. So, in a nutshell, Michael DeLoach is who we can give credit to for the birth of this project. Of course, Michael is in Belize at this moment. He is pursuing some things down there, and we wish him the best. Right now, the story has actually evolved into, as Ken said, a satire. The characters themselves represent various aspects of the black community, from the most elite to the most obscure and downtrodden of us. And these people have found their niche, or they found their role in the paradigm that we live in now. And if you were to take that away, take the current social structure away, how would these people function? Particularly when you consider that they've been heavily influenced by the political apparatus around them, the educational system, the religious institutions. Even though those institutions have crumbled, their influence, the residue of the old society is still heavily on these people.
Right.
Yeah. So again, it's not so much about an outbreak. The outbreak is more of a backdrop to the story. We found the story in how these people who, after 400 years of Western influence, now find themselves independent of that influence. How do they redefine themselves?
Okay, so that sounds, I mean, it sounds pretty amazing, and you have me, it's almost like a cliffhanger. I just can't wait to actually see the premiere of it. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the journey with finding the characters to bring to life the concept. How has that journey been with casting?
Well, we started casting in September of last year, 2013, and we're actually not done yet. But that being said, it's expected to be a fairly long process. We're looking for really talented people who have a passion for this project, and it's going really well. I mean, I think we've managed to get a really, really talented group of people on board with this project. So I would have to say it's been a soaring success.
It's been a soaring success. I like those words right there. So let me ask you this. So what's the next step at this point? So what stage are you all at right now? And how important is it to get people on board, like the sponsors? Because we talked about sponsors and we talked about all the things that's behind the scenes to bring this project to life. Tell us a little bit about that journey. And maybe, you never know, maybe someone's listening who will be able to finance or sponsor you all. So give us a little bit of information about what you're looking for in that regard.
Well, we're currently talking, or have been in talks for some time, with people who are interested, actively following us, and are interested in Outbreak Zero. Their biggest concern is there an audience, is there a definite market that's looking for what we're trying to create, and how they're going to get a return on that investment. Those are just simple things that any investor would be preoccupied with, and Ken and I are answering those. There is a growing market of people, not just within our community, but in the general sense, that are looking for very intelligent entertainment, in the sense that they're not looking for the mindless fodder, I hate to say it, that's currently being marketed to them now. I mean, people like to be entertained, but every now and then they like to be challenged. I think Outbreak does that. And it does so without preaching. So the market is definitely there. We're proving that through the attention that we've been able to elicit through our fan page. We have just had a surge as far as fans. We went from 633 fans to almost 2,000 within a matter of weeks, which is a positive sign that there is a momentum growing as far as our fan base. So there's that to consider. And also, one thing to consider is that the way TV shows are being pitched now with the new social media, that has changed as well. It's not so much what you can pitch off paper to a producer or an investor, it's what you can show them. And if you can establish a following before a show goes into production, that's always a plus, and that's the approach we're taking right now with Outbreak Zero.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. So look, this right here is you all's baby. You're working really hard on it. You're helping out. I've looked and saw some of the people that are actually involved in as characters in Outbreak Zero, and how wonderful and excited they are with spreading the word. What can we anticipate once this takes place and once this surfaces? What network are you all seeking or shopping to actually premiere the TV series? Because I know originally it was going to be a web series, but then you all had evolved to not limiting the masses or the resources you have available. So can you tell us a little bit about who you're looking at and how you're seeking to get this premiered?
Basically, any and all. We're looking towards conventional TV, NBC, ABC, Fox. We're looking towards the premium networks, HBO, Showtime. We're also looking at places like Netflix, Redbox. In the past few years, they've really made a surge in asserting that they have premium programming and it's exclusive to Netflix or Redbox. Honestly, right now, not trying to limit ourselves. We're going to be pursuing anyone who's interested.
Sounds good to me. I think that you all are going to have a line lined up. I mean, because I have full faith in this project. It's such a cool concept, and just the thought of the entire the world being wiped out and only minorities survived, and like you said, having to think about the currency, the religious aspects, all the things that are politically important to us, and all the things that we actually look at to choose a president to run our country. All those factors come into play with this satire here. Any reason why you all decided to make it more of a satire comedy versus more of a dramatic type of story? What was the concept? What was the thought process behind that?
Well, simply put, because the premise itself is such a heavy story, you're talking about a situation where the people in power right now are being totally wiped off the face of the earth. And the best way to deal with that is through comedy, at least Ken and I believe, and Michael believe, because it's already controversial just on its face. Also, when you're dealing with the genre of sci-fi or the subgenre of post-apocalypse or end of the world, that subgenre of science fiction, very seldomly does it take the route of dark comedy. And two, very seldom is that subgenre used to address issues as sensitive as race. That was primarily the logic behind us going in that direction.
Okay. Okay. So you're gonna have us cracking up, thinking, crying, feeling. You guys are gonna be drawing out every bit of the emotion, I believe. So moving forward, how can people who are interested in casting, because I did hear you say that you're still casting, so for a person that wants to be a part of Outbreak Zero or audition for you, what's that process? What's your social networks? How can they become a fan? Go ahead and give our listeners everything they need to be a part of Outbreak Zero.
OutbreakTV.com. Anything about Outbreak Zero can be found at OutbreakTV.com. Our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube channel, it's all there. Casting notices are posted on our Facebook wall routinely. Like and follow us at Facebook.com/OutbreakTV. Very important if you want to stay in touch with the project or support us. And that's mainly it.
All right, all right. Well, I am very, very excited about Outbreak Zero. I cannot wait until the premiere. I hope I have an invitation where I can sit in the front row and be able to observe this. I'm very thankful that you all, have put such a project together, and I'm even more thankful that you decided to do it in a town such as Greensboro, North Carolina. How important, before we go off this call, I didn't ask you this question. How important was the location that you all used to actually shoot the TV show? How important was that to you all, and why Greensboro, North Carolina?
The best stories are based off of what you understand and what you know. And we're very familiar with the history of Greensboro, and we're also very familiar with the local culture of the area, and also we're very up on a lot of things that go on outside of Greensboro and how they tie in. Essentially, it was just a matter of inspiration. Outside of Outbreak Zero, there are other projects that we're developing right now where Greensboro is at the center because it's our world. A lot of the characters are based on people who are here.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good to me. I just had to know that because, I really adore the growth that Greensboro, North Carolina has made on the music end, on the acting end, just everything that they're doing to build up, even some of the venues that are out there. I absolutely 100% love Greensboro, North Carolina. It is definitely one of those cities that's definitely on the rise and will continue to rise. And having a project like Outbreak Zero there really just speaks volumes to exactly how huge Greensboro will be moving forward. I really believe that. Is anybody that you, Ken, or you, Thomas, you want to give a shout out to before we wrap everything on up?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't say, "Hey, Mom."
Hey, Mom.
But no, honestly, I want to shout out a lot of people. I mean, everyone who has been a resource for this project and donated their time and energies and resources to it has been a godsend.
Absolutely. Definitely we want to give a shout out to the cast and crew of Outbreak Zero. Michael Bowie, our cinematographer, and our sound engineer, who is phenomenal in those capacities and has been a huge asset to us. The guy drives 2 hours, 4 hours altogether whenever we're doing a shoot, whenever we need him. I mean, he's always been there and has made himself available. Uh, Virtually everybody in our cast and in our crew are doing projects outside the realm of North Carolina. We have quite a few rising stars as far as the national scene that just so happen to be a part of the cast of Outbreak Zero. One of those being Mr. Evan Gibson, who happens to be an R&B.
Oh, yes.
He's a singer and a songwriter by trade, and is making his foray into acting with us. And Rob Crichton, who actually who has done national productions, or is currently involved in national productions with major studios. I mean, the guy's done work with MTV, BET, USA, you name it. He could be doing anything else, but he chooses to be a part of this, and we definitely want to thank him for that. And those who drive all the way, who drive hours to be in Greensboro for the project. Dory Marie, who plays Barbara Barnes, one of our antagonists, drives 8 hours from the D.C., Maryland area. Very dedicated. Jamantha Watson, who's a professor at Hampton University, who plays one of the characters, Joyce Allred. She drives 5 hours from the Tidewater area in Virginia. And then there's our casting crew here. There's Angela Mahoney, as far as the administration of the project. She has no experience in film. HR is her thing. But she has really stepped up to the plate as far as understanding the role of an AD. So we definitely want to thank Angela for coming on board. We want to thank Angel Housey, who happens to play the role of Vita Randall, and who happens to be involved in our casting department. Cree Simpson, Chandra Peak, who, in addition to being part of the cast, started out being in our makeup department, but now she is a member of the cast. Johnny McNeil, who is a dynamite actor. Patrick Ferrara, Lothario Boyd, and these are just cast members we have thus far. We've been able to come a long way with them, and they, as far as the evolution of this project, they have been key to that. And then there's also Van Buren, Donovan Cherry, who's been with us from the beginning,
right,
as the casting director. He was having a few health issues. We hope that he's doing better now, and that he'll be joining us again. Definitely the people who could be doing anything else right now, but they have extended to us their time and their resources to make Outbreak Zero a reality. People like yourself who are trying to build grassroots support through giving us the exposure through outlets like Simply Elevate, who have taken a profound interest in what we're trying to do as far as changing the culture.
Exactly.
In this area.
Right. Well, you know what? I really love the shout-outs, because it really shows you that when, I believe the teamwork makes the dream work. So when you all come together for the greater cause to make some things happen, it can't help but to manifest. The Bible says faith without works is dead. And to hear how much work you're putting into it, to hear how much work even your casting is putting into it, and even the work that we're putting into it, it is all for the greater cause. And I just pray that with everything that you all are doing, that it is as successful as you all visualize in your minds when you brought it to life. I want to thank you, Ken Watts and Thomas Scott, for coming on board Simply Elevate tonight and sharing with us Outbreak Zero and the process. It's been absolutely tremendous talking to you, and I cannot forget to wish Thomas Scott a happy belated birthday. I meant to do that the other day. So happy belated birthday to you. Without I want to say miracles and blessings. God first. Winning! Yes.